I do.
Yeah. Okay.
Great.
Hi, everyone. Welcome.
Hi.
Oh,
Hi.
This is the Wellfleet Recycling Committee, Tuesday, June 1st meeting and monthly meeting. Does anyone have any announcements?
I do.
Okay.
For to mark the passing of DPW Director Mark Vincent,
Oh, right.
who died just last week. We're very sorry. He gave so many years to Wellfleet, and I know one of the things that I admired about him was recycling wise, he was always a proponent of keeping the dual stream rather than going to single stream, which really is in terms of the environment, single stream, there's a lot more contamination, a lot
Yeah.
fewer things get recycled in the end. And so he was, I think, knew ahead of time that was best to kind of do what Wellfleet was doing.
That was prescient of him
Yeah.
last year.
Yeah.
So I thought maybe we would send a note on the note card that we have to,
The family.
yeah.
Good.
Would you be willing to do that from all of us, Lydia?
Yeah, I think I have those here, so I'll do that.
Okay. I have a few that you gave me, but I think you have the stash.
Hope so. I'll have to look. So that was it. That's my.
Okay, anything else to bring up? Let me just see if, I don't see Kurt yet. Let me just double check. Nope, we're all in. Do you want to mention, Lydia, that Kurt Felix wanted to address us? And what about, in case he does
Sure.
want?
Some things for the annual town meeting on June 26th. He wanted to talk about wastewater issues. I know that some of it was not put on the warrant. I don't know if that has changed or not, but I know the wastewater project for Lawrence, the big Lawrence Road housing is on the warrant, but I think some of the other wastewater issues are not. So if he does join us, he'll be able to describe that.
Okay. And here's Gary was waiting from the Eastham Recycling Committee. Hi, Gary. So we'll go on then to, have we heard anything from Mike for transfer station? I think we all know we're back to pay as you throw bags starting June 1st today.
Yeah.
Hi, Gary.
Hi,
And
sorry I'm late.
no problem. And for any updates from the Mass Step grants?
Well, there is that micro grant.
Yes. Do you want to talk about that, Lydia?
Sure. So last winter, when we submitted that micro grant for to reduce plastics in agriculture, and we didn't receive the grant because we hadn't partnered with a nonprofit. But the grants have been announced again. And Carrie, do you have the deadline for this group of micro grants?
I can look it up right now for you.
Thanks. And we thought we'd resubmit the application if you're all game, and work with the Tom Sigia, depending if he's a big part of this from the Shellfish Advisory Board. Working with him and possibly the Wellfleet Shellfish Fishermen's Association or the Center for Coastal Studies. So those are two nonprofits that we could partner with in order to cover that part of the grant requirement.
That sounds great. Have you been in touch with Tom about
Yep.
About
I
the
didn't get to
sponsor?
reach him over the weekend just because of Memorial Day and everything, but
Right, okay.
I'll check in with him and if maybe we could vote on whether to proceed with this, to apply, then we can see if he's game.
Okay, you think we need a vote for that?
Well, I think,
Doesn't
Doesn't,
hurt.
okay. Would you like to make the motion, Lydia?
well, Jane, do you want to?
Yes, I so move.
All right.
That we apply for the Mass DEP
Yeah.
mini grant along with the Shellfish Advisory Board for the pilot project of replacing plastic ties on oyster bags. I
Right.
second.
Mm.
All favor, raise your little hands. I'll raise my good hand.
Lydia.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, all
I'm
present.
raising my hand, sorry.
Okay.
I'm
You're
writing too, so.
Okay, so we have 5 members, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes. So 5 to
We
0
heard
approved.
Just a quick aside from that, we heard from Laura Ludwig of the Center for Coastal Studies, and recently they found something like 570 plastic zip ties within 2 hours during a cleanup. So it's really-
Yeah, I wasn't aware of that cleanup effort. Had you heard about that, Lydia?
was it recent? We have to-
Well, I'm not sure. She said it was in the like on the flats where the,
Wellfleet Flats last fall.
last fall.
So-
Oh, oh,
That was 550 zip ties and a 2-hour cleanup.
Yeah. 571 in about 2 hours, actually, is what she said.
A lot getting dropped for sure.
mm.
All right.
I'm not seeing a deadline, whether it's on the website or on the grant guidelines itself. So I'm sending Aaron an email right now.
Thank you, Carrie.
Sounds good.
Yeah, I didn't recall seeing one because I usually look for it. So
We're in
I
good
just
shape.
emailed her to ask her because I know they just kind of randomly like announce them and then they kind of pull them in.
Mhm. Well, we have it all written more or less. We just need a couple little more pieces, I think. Changing the dates and things like that, because it was
Okay.
all based on working over the winter into the spring, ending in the summer, whereas this grant we would start working in the late fall after their main season, their busiest season.
Okay, great. The next thing on the agenda is the open water for town meeting. At Lydia's suggestion, we emailed the marketplace in Wellfleet to see if they were interested in donating or providing canned water to the town meeting at their cost. Lydia had noticed that they've been stocking open water for, they said about a year, so. And they very generously agreed to purchase half of the amount we needed. They said, this is Bob Medeiros, is that how you pronounce his last name? The manager. So they're donating 10 cases of the open water cans, and then the town is purchasing another 10 cases at cost. And fire department or rec department will loan us coolers, and then I guess we'll either get some ice from them or buy ice at the marketplace. And the moderator thanked him and said that he would, in advanced materials, recognize them for their help and mention it in his opening remarks.
Great. Thank you, Christine. Good job speaking with the marketplace.
Good
And
suggestion.
they are purchasing 10 cases of canned water.
Yes, of the open water.
That's what
the
it's called.
brand. Yeah. Although that doesn't matter. It's canned water. And canned water being preferable
Yeah.
when you need single use to.
Right.
Yeah.
So for
And-
volunteers that day, Hillary's asked if AmeriCorps would participate in the service project.
Oh, great.
And so we're waiting to hear back from that. And then the moderator always has a group of volunteers. I know Christine, you volunteered last year.
Mhm.
This year you won't be here, so if there are people that can help on June 26th,
I could do that.
great, thanks, Jane. It's
I can do that. I can do that as well, Nancy.
Great.
Jane and Nancy, and I'll be there as well. The setup starts at 8 o'clock, and then the register people can start to take their seats. Kind of the doors open, although it's all outside. It's on 9 o'clock, and then the meeting starts at 10. And they don't expect it to go much beyond 2, but it could. So maybe
Bring a lunch.
yeah, bring your lunch, exactly, and really bring your sun hat because it's really, really bright there. Well, it was.
I
last-
wouldn't think that you would need to set up that early at 8 because people won't be arriving until 9. And
So wait, do you think we will, or we would not have to?
I wouldn't think you'd need to be there at 8, but I guess that depends on the coolers and, you know,
Yeah,
all that logistics, but
yeah, we have to check with the marketplace. Were they going to deliver it to the location, or do we pick it up, or?
he just said that they would order it.
Okay.
I imagine we would need
We'll
to.
pick up then, so
Yeah.
we'll have to arrange for them.
Carrie, did you have your hand up?
Oh, I did not,
Yeah,
thanks,
Erin's
sorry.
email did
Gary.
an automatic, oh, sorry, Gary. Erin's email did an automatic response, and it says she's out of the office until 6:04. But that doesn't mean she wouldn't respond before that. So go ahead, take your time working on the micro grant, changing dates, adding Lydia's information, etc. And if she gets back to me sooner than later, I'll email the group.
Okay, thank you, Carrie.
Yeah, you're very welcome.
Okay.
So I guess Lydia you'll coordinate, since I'll be gone, the whatever it is we need from whomever, coolers, ice, and volunteers.
Sounds good.
Thank you.
Sure.
Next item is a summer 2021 recycling news flyer or a bookmark, and also RC season calendar. Do you want to talk to that, Lydia?
Well, I haven't really thought too much more about the bookmark. The one we did before, I think you were going to distribute last month, or along with, was that right? Were there some left over in storage?
Oh, yeah. Well, Jane and Chris asked for that. That was a recycle smart
Recycle
card.
safe.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I provided them, and then we were talking about like a recycling fire or a green guide, or
Mhm.
something similar to what Provincetown has.
Yeah. Well, I haven't done anything on that. I could. Do you want to do another bookmark? Do you think maybe with a refill theme or some kind of water, single-use water bottle theme?
Well, it costs money, and we don't have any. So-
Yeah.
and I think last time, didn't Marla pay for it? Did she? Or
So I think she donated it.
I think she did too.
Yeah. Well, maybe it's worth asking the DPW if there's any money in their printing budget.
Yeah, I was actually going to reach out. I'll wait a few days to reach out to Jean, but I wanted to see if I can. I mean, our accounts are all under DPW, so maybe I can just figure out with her, because they must have our accounts. They're listed under them. If they're not designated as ours, then they're there. So I thought maybe I could just talk with her to see if we can.
I have a
Right now.
question.
Yes, Jane.
All this sort of Wellfleet financial mess thing. I mean, if we need some help on unpacking it, does anybody think of calling Miriam Spencer, who's the treasurer, whose name never comes up with any of the shenanigans, but presumably as treasurer, she knows where the bodies are buried and stuff.
Well, the treasurer has a different role than the accountant. She does.
What is the role of the treasurer then?
Well, I think we talked about this at our last meeting briefly, and
Yeah.
not really. I think the treasurer deals with the pension and things like that, and maybe
Okay. maybe not appropriate then.
investments of the
It's
town.
just that I know that in the, in last week's Provincetown Independent,
Yeah,
in the article about the thing, Miriam isn't mentioned, but there's a photograph of Miriam
I
at
know.
Town Hall saying
Yeah.
the buck stops here. So I thought, oh, okay, so
Yeah, it was a little confusing there. Was it?
it is a little confusing.
Yeah, I
It's
thought so
gonna take
too.
up some time. They're working, they have hired 2 accountants to sort it out.
Okay,
And then
And-
interim town administrators working on it and.
Right, and we have sent a detailed accounting of what money is ours to
mhm,
both the past accountant and at Lydia's suggestion, we sent it to the select board, to Ryan Curley, who
okay, good, good.
suggested, and I guess we can also send it to the new ones, just to make sure it's on their horizon, because it's not a hugely complicated issue.
Well, you'd think it shouldn't be, right, right,
Yeah.
okay.
So anyway, I suggest maybe we wait until the fall to do some kind of a green guide or something, because, well, at least I personally won't have any time until the fall really to do much more.
Mhm. Sure, I guess I'm just a little, the only printed item we have is this, this is the thing that the county does regarding the household hazardous waste.
Yeah,
And there's the Recycle Smart also, but there's a lot of other things that aren't in Recycle Smart
mhm,
that Wellfleet does. And that's another thing I think that Mark Vincent really was open to, things like a shell pile, things like marine debris, he had,
Mhm.
that transfer station really offers a lot, and it's a lot to do with him.
mhm.
And I think we need to kind of plug that more.
Promote it more, yeah. Well, if people collect any ideas they have for it or have connections with different committees, we may want to highlight some of their green initiatives or green programs.
Mhm.
And I think Gary said that in Eastham, there's a group that's working on like a brochure of that nature called, was it Sustainable Eastham?
Yes,
Call it?
yeah. They're working on some form of communication. I'm not sure it's a brochure, but some kind of communication that's going to be going out to the town residents.
I see. And is that a committee or just some interested citizens or
Oh, it's a committee.
a committee?
Yeah.
So is there a committee called Sustainable Eastham?
Oh, no,
Oh,
No.
okay.
no. That was just a slogan that they were toying around with.
Gotcha. Okay,
That's all.
gotcha.
Sounds good.
So next is plastic reduction, aquaculture. I guess we've already talked about.
Yeah.
Anything on NIPS or Universal Redemption Bottle Bill?
I did contact the town or city of Attleboro, and
Right.
they have a draft bylaw or rule about no plastic nip bottles. I guess they'd still allow glass ones. So it's on their meeting agenda, but it's in committee. So that means it's basically just on the agenda and it hasn't gone beyond a committee. It could be that it never will come to a vote. We don't know. I mean, maybe it will one day, but
Mhm.
now it's kind of just on the agenda, there's no action. But to me, that sounded kind of like a good idea.
Mm.
Just because nips, I think if they were all glass, it'd be less likely that they'd be selling them for $1 each. I don't know. And if they did get, I don't know, there's a lot of parts to this. There's the drinking and driving part, which obviously is really bad.
Mhm.
But I think the plastic, litter is also really, really bad.
Yes, surely is. And we could talk to Alan Robinson in Falmouth, who passed a successful NIPS ban altogether.
Mhm.
Oh, even better.
Yeah. So if anybody is interested in looking at or working on that for possible
What
Like-
community was that?
Falmouth,
Falmouth. Mm.
and I don't know whether he has an official role in Falmouth. possibly on like a recycling committee, but he started their refill station campaign modeled on, was it Philadelphia, Lydia, that he came from? So he was instrumental in getting that going. And then Carrie mentioned what he was doing, and that's what brought refill to Wellfleet.
Right.
Packaging, anything from anybody on packaging?
I went to Trader Joe's a couple of weeks back, and I was happy to see that they really have gotten a lot of their produce out of the plastic bags. Everything used to be kind of bundled in a plastic
Mhm.
film, but they're doing a lot better. And I bought a few cosmetic items that came in glass bottles, like tea tree oil, and then this hyaluronic acid. I think that's how you say it.
Mhm.
But they were both in glass, which was kind of nice for a change.
Mhm.
By the way, on the question of packaging, my children have forced me to get off Amazon in terms of buying books. And I now buy books from bookshop.org. And the great joy of it is they just come in cardboard. There's absolutely no plastic involved.
Oh,
Whereas when you buy things from Amazon, they have these sort of plastic, more plastic.
I've been
So
buying
I
my,
recommend it. Bookshop.org.
I've been buying my books from East End Books in Provincetown. They'll order anything.
Okay,
And
I think they may be part of this, actually.
yeah,
Yeah.
There's also a nice store in Orleans where the Main
Yeah.
Street Books used to be. It's called Sea Howl,
mhm,
and they can do pickup there too.
right.
Yeah, good.
and Lydia, you had PPE litter grabbers on there. And was that for like our next,
Yeah, our next beach cleanup, maybe
Okay.
hopefully our budget.
I did get mine from Amazon, I have to say.
it's our, well, not such a secret, but I feel like it's a dirty little secret because I'm always like, don't use Amazon, but then there's sometimes when you just use it, have to use it.
It's like
Not have to, but. So that's for cleanups. Okay. Next item is compost for spring or summer outreach. Lydia, was that for commercial that you were?
No, I was thinking more of just for residential drop off at the transfer station. And I know that Mike said he would promote it with using the LED sign, but maybe they wanted to wait until people are a little bit more used to the purple bags being
Mhm,
required again.
right.
So, but I hope that they will use the LED for that, because that'll draw attention to the compost operation, which I think is really,
Yeah, and I ran into, well, I didn't run into him, he works there, but I talked to Mike at the recycling plaza last time I was there. And he said that he's behind on the signs. I think you talked to him, Lydia, about some signs to sort of highlight
Yeah.
the.
those signs
residential-
are going to say, for instance, this goes where, like where does your glass end up going?
Oh, I see, about where things end up, right. He said he was pretty short-staffed because he lost Ben and hasn't found anyone. It's really hard to find people. I guess he was the commercial driver, you know, for all the machines and stuff.
Right.
Really hard to find people that can afford to live here. So he has had no applicants.
So it needs to be a driver then, needs to be a, yeah.
Commercial, yeah.
Mm.
And I think Mike does that too, but if he's doing that, then he can't do other things.
Mhm.
Right.
So, yeah, so promoting and, you know, the idea, I'm still not sure what's going on. Carrie, I think you had mentioned something about Black Earth, whether it was or wasn't coming to the Cape or.
So
did you-
Black Earth bought out Compost with Me, Mary
Right.
Ryther's farm,
Yeah,
and they're operating in Yarmouth potentially, Mashpee currently, and Falmouth currently. And my contact is Connor Miller. Connor's with one N, and he's the CEO.
okay. So what towns did you say? We know they're in Falmouth. That's where they took.
Falmouth, Mashpee, and Yarmouth.
Okay,
I'm pretty sure that Mary used to pick up from the schools. She used to pick up compost from Mashpee, right?
She's picking up, they're still doing the Mashpee schools.
Mhm. That's
Not
great.
all of them, but yeah.
okay,
I think they're a great role model for the rest of the schools.
definitely. Hopefully somebody else will pick up my phone. Um,
I see somebody in the background charging
Good.
towards it.
good. Thank you. The phone that only, house phone that only rings when someone's trying
Right.
speaking. I don't
I
know why.
unplugged
People,
mine because it used to drive me completely nuts. when it
did you
would-
get rid of yours?
Almost. I unplugged it.
Yeah, mine's unplugged too.
Yeah. Hold on, let me just, oh gosh. Hold on a sec. My picker upper didn't pick up. Um, So where were we? Oh yeah, Black Earth, sorry.
Yep, Mashpee Schools, they're a great role model. And I was thinking, you know, that nice campaign that Brewster did, the Drink Brewster Tap, maybe, and they suggested, or they have role models, people from the community that like drinking tap water.
Right.
Maybe could do something similar with a compost, like these are people that use it and why they use it.
Right.
Compost, drop off compost at the dump.
Yeah, we can talk more about that when we get down to the, oh, did we already talk about it? Yes, we did. No, we didn't. Commercial water ban. I skipped over that. I skipped over a bunch of stuff.
Sorry.
We'll go back to that. So anything on compost? In
Nothing
addition, okay. So going back up to the Free Wellfleet report, that was number 4. I have a paragraph from Andrea about how it went. She says, Free Wellfleet went swimmingly. I can see this becoming an annual or even a biannual event. Certainly everyone I talked to referenced the next one or next year. There were people who asked to be able to put up pictures. That would be complicated and I would not encourage that idea. I thought the listings as I set them up worked pretty well, but I'm sorry I didn't ask for emails. Not to make the emails public, but for our own sake. There were a couple of double listings and I would have contacted them about that. It was all automated once it was set up, except for the map, which I had to manually re-enter the data every so often. I did not feel like it was a huge amount of work, even with the map. Maybe if there had been hundreds of listings, I'd feel differently. We had 63 households participate. It was a terrific all-town social occasion, and I'm totally down with that. All the best, Andrea.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Yeah.
I totally resisted picking up any stuff, but
Yeah, I'm trying to get rid of stuff, but I don't even have time to get it together. So we keep saying, swap shop, swap shop. We need a swap shop. Carrie, I have a question from you about swap shops. I heard that, oh no, that was something else. Do you know of any that are opening, or especially now since things have been somewhat relaxed with masks and stuff?
Yeah, there's one opening. I'm trying to think of the town that just sent it out that they're opening. Maybe it was Eastham.
Yeah, it is Eastham. It's, they're opening the week of June 14th.
Thank you. Thank you.
Oh.
Thank you. Yeah, I was gonna say, I feel like it was Silvio that sent the email alert out to everybody,
Uh-huh.
which sparked a little bit of interest because in order to get the RDP points for having a swap shop this year, you have to open by August 1st.
Oh,
Oh,
good to
okay.
know.
All righty.
maybe
So
we'll
I guess,
open soon.
I guess we can send an email to DPW next week or something. And
All the contents that are in the Wellfleet Swap Shop now have been there for a couple of years.
right.
You know, all throughout March, what's
Mhm.
March 2020.
I wonder if they would, I bet they would let Roland or whomever.
Sort
clean
it
it
out.
Of course, it would probably all go in the trash, but who knows?
And,
Well,
are they going to do the Free Wellfleet again? Did you get that impression?
Yeah, I think it would.
Maybe once or twice a year they talked about.
Yeah.
Good.
But I think that's kind of nice for some stuff that, isn't so cartable.
Yeah,
And sometimes you can kind of see, oh, this is junk. I shouldn't even bring it to the swap shop even,
right. Well, the nice thing about it is that the transfer station is not left with it if nobody wants it.
right.
It's a-
Right,
and
right.
That's a huge benefit to doing it that way.
Maybe they'll
Alrighty.
turn in the like late fall or winter even. Not too, you don't want the weather to get in the way,
Right.
but you could do a kind of holiday edition or something kind of fun.
Okay, so then I'd skipped over commercial water bottle ban unintentionally. So let's go back to that. I just wanted to share the screen. This is, I don't know if nope, I don't have the right
You can
thing.
see,
I'm gonna
well,
Get rid of that. And so I'm not sharing what I want to be sharing. So let me go back to my share. You are screen sharing. But not the thing I wanted to. So I stop sharing and then I highlight it and say share screen. And if this doesn't work, I'll give up and just send you a copy of Chris's.
did you want to show the decal? Because we did see,
Yeah, that's all I'm trying to do.
yep, I see it.
Oh,
Yeah,
you do? Okay.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So this is the decal that Chris designed for us,
Beautiful.
which we love.
Mhm.
And thank you very much, Chris, for your time on that. So what we've talked about at our working group meetings last week was to make our efforts a regional campaign and change it to Refill Cape Cod instead of Wellfleet. And then to put a link in that bottom area where it says available here, either to perhaps an app that we're using or to a map that we've created with Google Maps. And we're not sure how that's going to work yet. So there's been a lot of discussion about what app to use. We had hoped to use the TAP app, which Madhavi had promoted during the run up to the first commercial. Well, I guess it was 2020 when the commercial bans were first being promoted. But since then, the person who created the app has taken it off of the app store so that new people cannot install it. There's still a website that you can use, but that's a little awkward on mobile devices. So I'm going to try to reach out to that person who in March said there was no timeline for adding it back to the App Store, just see if there's any change with that. But meanwhile, we had identified another one called Refill, and that's a UK app. But we can't really put a link into it because there's a process for becoming sort of an ambassador. And that involves making a commitment to do a lot of outreach for different things. And then I also have a letter. I don't know, can I switch to another thing? Let me stop sharing and then share again. Actually, I don't really need to share the letter, but in any case, Hillary sent out a letter to all the businesses in town, which we can attach to these minutes, advising them about the bottle ban effective date and highlighting things that they can do to provide sustainable alternatives, and those being offering customers free chilled tap water to refill their bottles, selling branded reusable bottles, selling sparkling or still water in aluminum cans or glass bottles. So that's been done.
And that was, Jordan from AmeriCorps also worked on that letter.
Right. Our next working group meeting is Thursday, June 10th. Anyone from the committee who would like to join us would be very welcome. So we are now, well, for P-Town, we don't have the recycling committee, but we have DPW. Sherry joins our meetings. And we have Gary and Eastham, and we have Amy and Truro. And Meg Morris from Brewster has just recently joined also. So Meg said that the Brewster Tap promotion campaign that they did over last winter, I guess about a year ago, is available for other people to use as an example. And there was one thing that we particularly liked was where they just took pictures of people in town saying, I drink Wellfleet Tap. And then, sending those out in various ways. So that's an idea anyway for doing some promotion.
And what group is this?
So it was originally called the Outer Cape Plastic Bottle Ban Working Group, but now that it's regional, we're calling it the Refill Cape Cod Working Group. So we're working together to promote alternatives to plastic water bottles. So the decal is one of the things that will work with an app where you can find the location where water is available, and also a map that we'll be doing that is available through a URL that you can see the locations of refill stations all over the Cape by town. And we're just kind of working out how to kind of regionalize it. And we're basically starting with the towns that we have now, and we have a contact in Orleans. They don't have a recycling committee, but we can contact them to at least get water fountains listed or their refill stations listed. And then we'll see if other people want to use it. It's essentially, it'll be there if people want to use the decal, add their water bottle locations, refill station locations to the maps or the apps. We can help them. If they want to go their own way, that's fine too. But it would be great to have something. And I guess the decal is sort of the focus of it that promotes a Cape-wide effort.
And Christine, did they discuss anything about customizing the decal for individual towns? Remember we had talked about that?
Yeah, so I presented your what we had discussed, and everyone understood that we should just sort of offer this, and if they want to do something themselves different, then they do something themselves different.
Okay.
So that we're doing this, the idea of us getting into business, having to, do things for other towns and whatnot.
Okay, good.
Seemed unwieldy, so.
Okay.
And everybody respected your comments about not wanting your design to get butchered by other people screwing around with it. So I think that's it as far as updates.
Is Chris's design going to be used for the Refill Cape Cod decal? Because we saw the Refill Wellfleet decal.
Yes.
Yes. So that was the first version of it. I'm going to change Wellfleet to Cape Cod, and I don't know if we want to keep a Wellfleet version, but
Okay. And then other towns can make their own if they want to have.
If they don't want to use it. Yeah, if they don't want to use the one. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
And we haven't figured out yet if we would, try to, put in a print order for, for bulk if other towns want to use it. It's not something that is going to be, well, at least not in the Outer Cape towns. There aren't that many businesses. So I didn't explain about the businesses thing, but we can talk to businesses about offering refill opportunities in their business, and then they would have this on their window, and we would list them in the app and apps and maps, or app and map singular. So yeah, there might be half a dozen, or maybe more in Wellfleet. There are people that already do it in Wellfleet, so we'll definitely approach them first. So Lydia, you just posted Chamber Green Guide. I didn't know there was such a thing. Huh.
Well, there isn't in Wellfleet, but
Okay.
this is more of a future concern thing, or
Okay.
um,
Gotcha.
I just- yeah.
Should we be encouraging the pot shops to have this? available water?
Decal?
The marijuana shops.
You mean, should we reach out?
I'm just wondering if this is another good place to have them.
Possibly. Do you want to go talk to them, Jane?
No, I don't want to go to it. Thank you so much for asking. I don't
No
really
judgment, I'm
remember.
just asking. I'll ask my husband, he's eager to visit.
It's a good idea though, Jane. I hear dry mouth is a symptom of marijuana use.
Yeah, there you go. There you
I
go.
was going to mention that. So let's see, anything else, any comments on water bottle ban outreach? And then okay, so now I think I caught up and we're back down to our very patient Carol waiting for her opportunity. Carol, do you have anything you'd like to share about the Energy and Climate Action Committee?
There's no word on the transfer station array yet.
Oh my gosh.
We're hopeful that it will happen. I guess Eversource has to put up 6 poles for some reason.
Right,
And we just don't know when they're gonna do that.
I see.
I don't think there's anything else to report. I did want to mention, there's this nice display that's appeared at the transfer station, in the recycling plaza.
Mhm.
Did you guys have anything to do with that, or did the dump staff?
You mean
Mike.
the do's and don'ts display? That's Mike's idea. Isn't it great?
I love it.
Yeah,
Yeah. It's really nice.
yep.
So that's it.
Okay, we'll pass that along, Tim. Okay, water bottle refill stations, not much other than I talked to Will Sullivan, the harbor master, and confirmed that the location is on the harbor side of the women's restroom. There's kind of a fish cutout design there now. So it's right across from the transient dock where people can just pull up and walk up. And I've not reached out to Nauset Disposal yet about a plaque, but I talked to Will about it. He says anything goes. So we may just do the same thing that we did for the Bakersfield, which is plastic board with ink on it that never goes away and never fades. What is it called again? Do you remember, Lydia?
I don't remember, but
Yeah.
it is
It's
good.
kind of
It really does hold the
yeah,
color.
it's a thin cut kind of polyethylene board that that you can put really nice colors on it and it doesn't fade.
I recently was looking at Concord, Massachusetts, their website for their refill stations. And I
Mhm.
liked that on the refill stations at the bottom of the plaque that said who donated it, there was a quote from Thoreau about
Oh,
Like-
right.
something about, a wise man only drinks water or something like that. I was
Ah,
wondering, is there any quote from any Cape Cod author? There must be something.
Well, we can claim him too.
Good. We
claim
could.
him.
Wellfleet Oyster
It's
Man.
true. It's true. It was a nice
What did you
quote.
say, Nancy?
Thoreau wrote the Wellfleet Oyster Man.
Yeah, Yeah.
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 That sounds nice.
I thought it was a nice touch.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that is nice. I was looking at all the plaques that are on the donated or sponsored, tables and benches all around the pier.
Mhm.
And I mean, I guess the brass ones will last for a long time. They get weathered looking and green, but maybe that's
Mhm.
okay. Some of the ones that were on the table looked like they'd gotten pretty pitted from wind and stuff, so. Anyway, we'll work that out.
One note about the outside water stations, if you oil the ones that are like the one at the recreation building, it's a
Mhm.
green,
Mhm.
it's not an enamel finish, but it's painted green.
Right.
And in terms of keeping it looking good, if you oil it just the way that you would oil a cast iron pan,
Oh, really?
yeah,
Oh,
Yeah, it preserves it. And at work, a fellow I work with in the restrooms, which have stainless steel doors and everything. And from time to time, he'll oil those to keep it looking good.
I noticed that after a year of use and a year under a garbage bag, they definitely look a little worse for wear. They have stains on them, but maybe oiling
Mhm.
would resolve that issue. It looks like they might be opening up the one at Bakersfield. It didn't have the garbage bag on it last time I looked.
There's another note, I guess this is another future concern, is the road race, and that's going.
Oh, yes, that's it, right.
And I don't know if it's on the agenda, but for, because it's going to be early in July, I'll just say we will need volunteers for that as well.
Do you want to introduce a little bit what we did last year?
Sure. Well, the year before, we, Becky Rosenberg and Angel Robinson were totally open to not having plastic water at the road race. So we provided water in a lot of different forms. One was the 250-gallon water monster, which is a huge cup with spigots all the way around, filled with water generously given by the bookstore restaurant. Christine and her husband got a food grade hose that went from the bookstore restaurant across Kendrick Avenue over to where the road race at Mayo Beach, where everyone is congregated there. Then we also had open water, both in cans and in screw top bottles. That's the still water and sparkling water in aluminum. And then on the off-site water stations where the runners will get a cup of water, we offered them the stainless steel fusti that they would have filled with a water from a hose, again, a food grade hose. And I don't know, because I didn't go off-site during that day, but how that all worked with the off-site locations.
So you're saying a stainless steel fusti? What is that?
It's basically a stainless steel
Tank.
water cooler, yeah. I guess you can call it a water cooler.
Okay. And then, oh, and then you had plastic cups for them?
We had
No, not plastic.
we had waxed paper cups.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, I was just curious.
Plastic's a dirty word around here.
I know. I just wanted to get it straight.
When people are running, they don't carry water bottles, so we just have the little
Right.
place, which are not recyclable, but they are readily degradable.
We wanted to make sure that the runners were well hydrated. That was
Yeah.
And last year, because it was sort of a precursor to the, I guess, was it Fall Town meeting? Fall Town meeting, we voted on it? No, April. Well, in any case, sustainable practices came with a number of volunteers, so were really helpful.
Yeah, they had that great, didn't they bring the great big plastic bottle?
They did, yeah,
culture?
right. Anyway, so the water monster, we decided was an overkill for that setting because they used the, Spat bought them for Oyster Fest. I mean, they're these huge, big things. And it takes a lot of time to fill it. And having the hose running under Kendrick was a real problem because we didn't have the right size. There are things that the hose goes under that protect it so cars roll over, and they kept getting dislodged. And anyway, so Lydia and I were discussing maybe just having the fusti and have just carry it over, refill it, have a couple of people carry it back without running all the hoses. I mean, the hose was nice too because you could spray people off, but it was kind of a cool day, so not many people wanted being sprayed. Anyway, so that's July 4th, right? Is that a Sunday? I think it was.
Yeah, I think so. The parade's going to be on the day before, the 3rd. I think that's what she said. Isn't that right?
And I totally didn't think about that, but this is the last meeting before that then.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
So I guess we can see who's interested in volunteering. All
We'll put out a
volunteer.
call for volunteers. Maybe we could put something on, yeah.
They put out a call for volunteers?
Yeah,
You mean with a larger group than us?
well, we could see about if Madhavi wants to come again. And I know Harriet from Cape Cool was there
Right.
in 2019.
Mhm.
And they always have a great group of volunteers too. So, and since we're not doing the water monster, I don't think it's going to be as involved.
Right.
But I do think getting another Fousty might be a good thing. So, that's a wish list item, I guess, for next time.
Yeah. Okay, well, I guess we'll just need to talk more about that and see if, have you been in touch with Becky about like if she would order the water, or maybe she could work with the marketplace to get it at his price?
Yeah, that's a great idea. I'll ask her about that.
Okay.
Last time we, the water in cans was given out for free, and then the recycling committee sold as a suggested donation. I mean, for whatever amount, pay what you wish. Suggested donation, I think it was $3 for the water, and or $5 for the water in the sparkling water in the resealable screw top bottle.
Yeah.
So,
I don't think we quite got our cost back on that. And
okay.
the leftovers have been sitting in my basement since then, 2019 summer.
Well, do you want to donate those so they're not?
Well,
in your
definitely,
basement for another
definitely, yeah.
year?
They're gotten a little knocked up over the time, but that's okay.
Okay. Yeah.
So we have a few to start. Okay, so I guess we'll just have to handle that through emails, so more to come. I can't believe that it's only a month till July 1st.
I know, it's scary.
And now who coordinates the road race? What are the names of the people?
It's the recreation department.
Oh,
Becky
Rosenberg.
Rosen,
Becky Rosenberg and Angel Robbins.
right.
Angel Robinson.
Mhm.
Okay.
That's they're the director and assistant director of the rec department.
Okay.
Anything on social media posts?
I just did another one this morning for the hazardous waste collection
Great.
next weekend.
Good.
This month I did the free Wellfleet. I did the purple bags coming back.
Mhm.
I feel like there might be another one. We're up to almost 360 followers on Instagram. So that's building up. And all those things I repost both to Facebook, to our page, and also to the community page. And they get a lot of notice there. So
Great.
yeah. So I don't know if anyone has any suggestions for things this coming month. What to post.
Okay.
I can just do some generic recycling things, but if there's anything specific.
Okay. Anybody have anything?
I don't.
Okay. I was, I did on 3 different walks the last couple of months. I brought plastic bags along to Race Point, to Jeremy Point, and got so much stuff. And so I carried it all back saying, okay, I'll spread it out in, damn phone, excuse me. Here we go. And thought I'd spread it out and photograph it because they were at, and also at Long Point, we walked over to the breakwater across.
Mhm.
So much plastic over there.
Yeah.
And there were lots of prominent things like, things that had brand names on them, Cumberland Farms and all the different plastic
Cumberland
water
Farms,
bottle
yeah.
makers. Anyway, but then I got too tired and threw it all away. So that happened 3 times.
Yeah, I have a lot of pictures of trash on my phone.
I'm sure you do.
Like-
And then I was walking on the beach and there were 2 territorial piping plovers
Mm.
and they were right in front of us, like my sister and I were walking, and then all of a sudden there they were, and they were, trying to reroute us. And there was this washed up, pristine plastic water bottle right next to them. I said, I really need to take a picture of that.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I'm sure you have plenty of examples.
I have quite a few. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you, Chris.
Mhm.
Community cutlery, library of things. It's all still sitting in the storeroom at the library. I did get a request from Michelle Inslee. She's the director of SPAT, but this was a personal thing. She was just saying, do you have 40 forks I can use? Because she was going to do something. So I'll call the library today and see if they could possibly put some out for contactless pickup for me.
I could post about that, just to remind people for summer events that's
Yeah.
available.
Good idea.
Yeah, the only thing is I'm not sure when we'll be able to go in there and do it ourselves,
Right.
because they're not open yet. It would be really nice to know when they were going to open.
Maybe mention to Michelle that we have napkins too.
I mentioned to her, she was asking about glasses. She needed that, but we just have wine glasses right now.
So should I hold off on that then?
We should probably hold off until we know when the library is opening.
Okay.
And then we can, and we do have pictures online on our website of some of the things,
Mhm.
but not everything.
Well,
And yeah, so the reason that Michelle asked is because for outreach for the refill Cape Cod, we had asked if we could get some of her stainless steel cups and wine cups and beer cups branded that they had used for Oyster Fest as examples to show people. So I'm picking those up on Thursday, and then she'd asked about borrowing 40 forks. So the last thing on the agenda is committee vacancies. I sent an update to the executive assistant at the town to make some updates to our website, including putting on there that we had 2 vacancies and 2 alternate vacancies, and we'll have a full-time vacancy when Beth formally retires at the end of June. Unfortunately, I haven't heard back from her in a week, so I just sent another, but what's going on in town and town meeting, I'm sure she's otherwise occupied. So I'm glad you did a post on hazardous waste, because that hasn't gone up on it's gone up on our own website, but not on the town.
Mhm.
Wellfleet. So that is, I think that's all I have. Anybody have anything else they want to bring up or mention for future? So what was it that we had for future? Oh yeah, we mentioned, but by our next meeting, the road race won't be the future. So-
Yeah,
You need volunteers now? Do you need to have names right now?
no, but be
I mean, I
thinking
put
about
my
it.
name in tentatively. I
Yeah,
think
I love it. Yeah, of course.
I'm here,
Okay, wonderful. Thank you.
and I'm not running it. I know I'm not running in it. I know that. So.
No risk of me running it either.
Thanks, Nancy.
Oh, you're welcome.
I mean, they have volunteers there too, and they have all the camp counselors,
Right.
summer camp counselors. So, I mean, 4 or 5 of us would probably be great. Okay, I think that's it then. Someone want to make a motion to close? Oh, no, minutes, sorry. Minutes. So Nancy I very belatedly sent around because I was on the road yesterday. Nancy did the minutes and sent them. So we sent them out for a brief look. We could just approve them with, I'm doing some edits directly in the Google Doc, Nancy, just some typos and, clarifying some things.
Yes, as we went through, it's like, oh, okay, that's where the Nauset.
Yeah.
I noticed Andrea Pluhar is now Andrea Pluthart. So that needs a correction in the announcements bit.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
There's no T.
Okay.
Oh, I had a T on. Oh,
You've
okay.
got two Ts in there. They both need to come out.
And what is that in?
Andrea Pluhar, last name.
It's in the announcements under Free Wellfleet.
Oh, okay. Oh, I see. Oh, in the meeting minutes. Gotcha.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
All righty. So maybe we could make a motion to approve with edits provided to Nancy.
I
Separately.
move that we approve.
Okay.
Second, Lydia.
Okay. So we move to approve with edits provided to Nancy by the end of today or something.
Well,
Okay.
Afterwards, but
Leave out the end. With edits provided to Nancy.
I looked through it and all I saw were just I made one edit in blue. It's in the Google Doc, and I had suggested that we ask Nauset High School Green Club if they could create a virtual kit. It hasn't, I haven't agreed to do that yet. So it was just a suggestion that we ask them. And I think that's something that, well, anyway, never mind.
Okay. All righty. Vote on passing the minutes for the May meeting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Thank you. All righty. I think we're all done. Then
Okay.
thank you very much, everyone, for joining in. And our next meeting is on,
The 6th of July.
yes, 6th of July.
Hey, have fun, everybody.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
bye. Stay safe.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Carol.